Any questions? Yeah.
Yes. The overall theme so far this morning, Tash, has been defense and the depth of the team's overall defense, especially at the rim. And I know you haven't had a ton of time with everyone on the court, but what does that feel like on this day? Like the depth from every position defensively?
It's exciting for me. You know I'm a defensive-minded player, and that's one thing I preach. It doesn't matter how good offensively we are as the Mystics. We can set as many records as we want to and the flow of our offense, but if we're not getting the job done on the defensive end, then that doesn't mean anything. So to come in, to have the depth that we have, to have the versatility that we have on the defensive end. I mean, you're talking about being able to switch 1 through 4, 1 through 5 at times. That's scary, and that gives us a huge advantage, which then is going to lead to our offense, which is already great. So as a defensive-minded player, I'm extremely excited for the squad that we have.
How much do you feel like this roster, even though there are a ton of familiar faces from 2019, Tiana's left brought back different experiences, Troy's left brought back different experience, Ariel, obviously USA basketball.
Yeah.
How much have you guys grown, or what extra do you bring this year?
We've grown together. I mean, our core group has been together for at least 4 or 5 years now, and when you're talking about, there was a lot of free agency movement and all that stuff, but we have our core here. We know each other in and out. We know our strengths and weaknesses, and we're continuing to grow every single season. And so I think last year, obviously the season didn't end how we wanted it to end. I think that since I've been here, I've missed playoffs twice in 8 years, and so that sits with us. And so our core group, we went back to the drawing board where each of us can be better individually and then collectively. So to have those same faces, to continue to grow together, to kind of go through the storms, there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel, and we all know that. And so we're really excited for the season. More excited than I've been in a while, and I feel that like across the board.
How much of that excitement is having Elena back and being actually on court, able to play basketball?
Absolutely. I mean, what do I look like without my Batman? But no, and not even from, obviously Elena is the best player in the world. I'm always going to say that. But just to have her presence back, even in our locker room, to have, our franchise player back, that means a world of a difference. And it makes a world of a difference in how you approach a season. So between her and AC, having AC coming back and healthy, that's huge for us. So I think, a lot of excitement around just having the band back together.
Hey, Tosh, good to see you in person.
My man, how are you?
Ariel was she mentioned a couple of times now the team didn't make the playoffs last year. I think she called it unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
How much is that on the players' your mind, the players' mind, and how much is that a motivation for you this year?
Yeah, I think it fueled us in this offseason. Not making it to the playoffs is unacceptable. I think we set a standard here in DC, and we set a standard of winning. We set a standard of making it to the playoffs and making deep runs. And so to fall short of that, we all take our ownership of that. That doesn't fall on anyone but us as the players. And so we took that into the offseason. We all grinded, and, that will sit in the back of our minds. Starting now, training camp, we are starting day one, and we're going to go after it. We're going to get prepared for this season, and people are going to be scared to play us.
And you said you felt more excited coming into this season than you felt in a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess, what do you think that is? Is there something just about the team?
I think last year was such a rough season. Unless you were in it with us, you didn't truly feel it. I mean, we were having roster changes, new players, new faces. We would have 8 players, 7 players, 6 players. We really took a bunch of hits on the chin last year. And so to go through that, to weather the storm, that's why we're so excited for this season, because we can feel it. Everyone's healthy. We're going to continue to pray that everyone has a healthy season and we get through it. But to have everyone back together, a full roster and healthy, that's exciting. That's exciting for us.
I know everything starts defensively, but last year you kind of had to be more aggressive scoring the basketball out of necessity.
I'm a shooter. I
was just about to say, you made the point to say no more going under screens.
No more going under.
Just kind of talk about the progression in your game and the improvements you made.
Absolutely. And I'm going to give a shout out to my man, James Clark, my trainer from back home in Philly. We've been working out for years now, since I was in college. And so he just continues to challenge me every offseason to be better, to grow, to expand my game. And, I fell in love with the process of being an underdog and being counted out. And it's been me my whole career, but I think the one thing that I've lacked is that consistency on the offensive end and being able to score in a multitude of ways, and that shit's not going to happen again. I'm a shooter, so you're not going to go under on me. I can score, I can get to the basket, I'm working on my post moves, I can pull up, and I can shoot threes, okay? So I'm feeling really confident, but also like another shout out to Athletes Unlimited, because I really just got to be me, and I got to go out and play and fall in love with the game again, and really just find my confidence in my inner dog. And I'm going to say it, y'all going to have to bleep it out, but I'm a fucking dog. I'm a dog.
Taj, you mentioned being as a defensive-minded player about what you guys have on this roster. What excitement did it bring you when you think about y'all's draft selections this year on that end of the floor?
We got the steals of the draft. We really did. Both of them are going to come in. They're going to have an immediate impact on our team, our organization, and that's exciting. Not only on one end of the floor, but both ends of the floor. Both have so much to add, and the people that they are too. They're good locker room people. They're good on the floor people. So I'm really excited for our draft picks, and they're coming into a really good organization that has a family atmosphere that will help them kind of guide them along the way. And I think that's really important and something that gets taken for granted a lot of times within organizations is having vets and leaders that are going to help the rookies along the way. But they are ready to play. I mean, you guys have seen them. I haven't gotten the chance. Today will be the first time I've been on the floor with them, so I'm excited to see what they bring to the table.
Natasha, just speak about the 25th anniversary of the Mystics and how special it is for you just to be a part of that and the significance of being a part of such a great legacy of Washington, D.C. basketball. Absolutely.
I feel like I've always had close ties, whether it's because I went to Maryland or because I've been here my entire career, being drafted in 2015, and then winning the first ever championship for this organization, helping to win. I'm a part of that legacy, and that's really special to me. When you think about all the greats that came before me and the shoulders that I'm standing on top of to be where I am today, I'm really blessed to be a part of this organization. To call this the only organization that I've been with, I love DC, and I think everyone knows that about me.
Thank you.
Hey, Natasha. Just seems like an excitement and a buzz just for this roster. When you look at it, what jumps out to you?
We're scary. I think the shortest player we have is A now, except for, a little girl coming in, a little point guard. She's like, fine, we're not going to talk about it. But to have that size, to have that depth, to have the versatility that we have within our roster, I mean, who are you going to guard? I think it's very similar to a 2019 roster, and why we played so well is everybody eats, and I think this roster is the same.
And the first time I got to talk to you was in a WNBA clubhouse room.
Yes.
And we talked about self-care, take care of your body. Just what are you doing now, I guess, as an update, just to make sure that you just keep that going?
Absolutely. I think self-care is something that we don't talk enough about as athletes. We're expected to play at, an elite level every single night, every single day in and day out. And so self-care becomes really important, not only our bodies and recovering and making sure that, with the compact season that we have, this 2022 season, that we're taking care of our bodies, getting in the training room, ice baths, massages, all that things. But I think the most important part is the mental aspect of it and making sure that we're mentally recharging and that we're self-caring for our mental health. And this off-season has been really kind of trying off-season for me mentally, but luckily the Mystics organization provides a sports psych, so Stu has been huge for me. I speak about him often, and he's been huge for not only my career but my everyday life too, and just making sure that mentally I'm able to, lay down my armor at nighttime and kind of reset, and so that I can come back better for this team and ready the next day.
Natasha, one thing that Shakira said on draft night is that she was excited to play alongside you and learn from you. And you talked about bringing the younger players along. What's some of that initial advice that you think that you would have for the rookies?
Come in and be a sponge. We got a lot of great leaders here. We got a lot of great vets, just a lot of great people that you can learn from. You can kind of shadow their routines, figure out how to be a pro. Because we really do hit the ground running. That's another thing we don't talk about. These rookies, they finish school, they graduate, if they even have graduated yet. A lot of them have to skip their ceremony, come straight into a training camp. We're talking about our first exhibition game is on Sunday. So things are happening really quick. So the one thing I always say is just be a sponge. Pick a vet to follow and follow. And on our team, we have really good vets, really good people that are going to understand that they're going to have to bring them along. But those two are professional already, so I'm really excited to see how they develop throughout the season.
All right, Matt, you're up.
All right, we'll switch over to Zoom for Pepper.
That's my girl Pepper. How you doing, baby?
I'm good.
That's
I'm
my
good.
girl. I miss you.
How are
I'm
you?
doing well. How are you?
All right, I'm good. Just one quick question for you. I know it's not about the stats, but coming into the W, you weren't a point guard, and in the past few seasons, you've averaged 5+ assists. How are you going to continue to build on that and drop even more dimes this season?
Talk that talk. Talk that talk, Pepper. Just being me. I think that's always kind of been my mentality. I've been a pass-first point guard, which is why, my consistency on the offensive end has been, a learning process for me. Because I find more joy in putting my teammates in successful situations than I do myself. And so, I've been going to work, going to pick and roll situations, being able to dissect those situations that I get into, whether I'm able to score, whether my teammates are able to score. But my goal is always to engage too, something that Sifu taught me. If I can engage too, that means I can find an open player. So my goal is just to get 2 feet in the paint and to find my open player and know that they're going to knock down their shots.
All right, we'll go to Patrick.
Hey, Natasha, I had a couple of different questions to ask you, but your entrance made me switch it up real quick. I just want to talk about your energy just coming in. I mean, what is it about you do you think that's important and helps your team, new players, returning players, etc.?
I think just that. I think that I'm a leader, period. That's just how I've always been. And I think that comes from, how my family raised me, the environment that I was raised in. We have a lot of women in our family, a lot of strong, outspoken women, and so that kind of sets a standard for me. But I'm a point guard through and through. I got to be the coach on the floor at all times, and so whether it's my energy, whether it's being poised, whether it's my play, that's what I try to bring every single day, and I think that helps my team in a lot of different ways.
Now I want to ask you too, real quick, about Athletes Unlimited. Your play there looked like you had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love it.
Also got to mention you messed around and got a triple-double.
Okay, buckets. I was getting buckets.
So can I just ask you about that experience and how that can potentially help you coming into this season?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, Athletes Unlimited, like I said, I've been telling everyone when they ask, it was really life-changing for me, not only on and off the floor, just to really find myself as a player again, find my love for the game, find my passion for the game, just go out and hoop. But then when you talk about wanting to leave this game better than you found it, that's what I want to do, whether it is here in the W or whether it's Athletes Unlimited, presenting another opportunity for women to excel in their sport and at the highest level, and to be able to do that here in the States and not have to go overseas for 7 months and have inadequate care, be away from their family and their loved ones for 8 months. I don't think we really understand the situations that players have to put themselves into in order to provide for their families. So to be able to be a part of something as big as Athletes Unlimited and present another opportunity and resource for women basketball players here in the States, that's like one of the greatest blessings to be a part of that. And we had a phenomenal year. It exceeded all of our expectations. We're already talking about year 2 as I am on the player executive committee, and I'm just excited. I'm excited because there's a lot of W players that played overseas this last year, saw AU happen, and now they want to come play AU. And when you're talking about a protection of the WNBA's investment, that is what Athletes Unlimited is. It's a protection of their investment into their players. They can stay home. It's only 5 weeks of play. They can make money. They can provide for their family. They're staying in one central location. It really is like the best thing. I love it. I loved Athletes Unlimited, but when you're talking about how it can help going into W seasons, not only were players found at AU and are on training camp rosters now, which we love, but they were able to play at an elite level. and right before training camp. There was only about a month in between, so it's just a win-win for us.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I will take one more question from Christos.
Hey Natasha, have a great season full of health, first of all.
Thank you.
That positive vibe that you brought during this session, how important is to maintain that during the season, and how important is, as a point guard, how important is to maintain it on the floor for your team?
Super important, and everyone can tell you that is here that this is who I am through and through. It's very rare that I don't come in and I'm not hyped and I'm not excited, and I understand that that's my role, not only as one of the leaders, but as a point guard too. To be consistent in that, I bring the energy for the team, and so I'm just going to continue to be me, authentically, genuinely, and that's all I can be.